Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiana with Storey House Books, and today we are going to continue on panel 3, and we are going to be working on the file folder section. Now, if you haven't been with us or you're just now joining us, the file folders that we're making, we're on panel 3. This is the last panel that we're working on. God, what episode is this? This is 17, I believe. So yesterday, or the last video, we did this here. We finished this up, and I still think this looks great, you guys. What do you guys think? Love it. We did these, mounted the seed pockets here. We did these 2 envelopes here with magnetic closures. And we're going to start on this section here. And inside here, we're going to have these file folders. Okay, these are flapped magnetic closures, right? I showed you guys this before. I'm going to show you how to make these out of, by hand, from Tim Holtz craft stock, okay? We're going to show you how to do these. And I figured since we're doing those file folders, we might as well do the other file folders that were going to be on this side, which I originally was going to use the die cuts that I have from Tim Holtz. And it was going to be these guys, and we're going to decoupage them. But then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I've gotten a few comments from some of you guys how much you appreciate me showing you guys how to make things from scratch and not use pre-made things. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to make these by hand. You may have seen me do this before, but some of you who are new may not have seen those videos. So we're going to be making no die cuts today. Everything's going to be by hand, okay? Like everything else we've been doing. I will show you the option of by hand. So we're going to do the 2 different types of file folders. Those here that you just saw, these kinds, here. And the other one that's got the 3 flaps on the inside, like this. We're making these 2. Now, I got the inspiration for this guy from Seven Plaza. She did a series called File Folder February last year. So I will link that playlist in the description below. And we'll you guys can go check that out. Before we get started, I wanted to give it a couple of shout outs. I'm going to try to remember everybody, and I try to comment on everybody's comments. So if I didn't comment or reply to your comment, I am so sorry. I will. But I think I got everybody. So I want to say hi, hello, appreciate you, love you to Judy, Julie, you know I love you. Elsie, who else? I had a list. Oh, shoot. Where'd my list go? I had a list because there were so many of you guys that were being so incredibly lovely in your comments. Okay, here we go. Kathy, Penny, Jamie, Maggie, Joanne, Elgie, love you too, appreciate it. And let's see who else. Lorna, and I think Leanne, and LaDawn, and Holly. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments. If I missed you in the shout outs, I will remember to get you next time. But you guys have been like really coming on with the comments and giving me your opinions and telling me what you like and what you don't like. Things that you want to see me film, which I am making a list. So if you requested something, I should have. I think I've replied to everybody, letting you know I put it on the list. Speaking of which, so I got my list is starting to grow, and I know I film or I actually release videos pretty intermittently. I try to do at least 1 per week, if not more. But I started to realize that I'm going to need to do more. Because I want to give you guys what you want to see. I don't want you guys to have to wait too long for it. So here's my plan. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking about doing 3 days a week, regularly. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll release something Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Fridays will be what I call Let's Make Stuff. Also commonly known as craft with me videos or tutorials, but it'll be ephemera. So you guys have asked for tutorials or see videos on me doing clusters, on other types of things, tags, pockets, what have you. So we'll do those on Fridays. I've got an idea book. We just, I even had somebody that wanted to see everything in my idea book. So we may just start the beginning and go all the way through, show you what I've got. What I also will do is, I watch everybody up. I watch videos just like you guys do, right? So I thought I would bring to you something I find out there that I think you might like. Maybe put my own spin on it. Or any original ideas that I might have, or prep work, or whatever. Anything dealing with ephemera and whatnot, and how-tos. So we'll do those on Fridays. So those are going to be our Let's Make Stuff Fridays. Saturday and Sunday, I'll also be releasing. So Saturday and Sunday will be the Saturday series and the Sunday series. Each one will be a different series, on a different project. So that way I can run through 2 projects at once. Because as you guys who've been with me for a while know, that sometimes my projects take a while. Like this particular one, this Lapbook is fairly complicated. It is complicated and it's large. We're on part 17, and we're almost done with getting all the elements in. But now we have to start decorating, which could take a few more videos, right? And then we have to make the ephemera to go in it. So yeah, and the tags and the journal cards and all that stuff, right? All the oohs and ahs and the bits and bobs. So I thought I could do two series at once, So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me know what you guys think. So again, we'll do release 3 videos a week, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Fridays will be our Let's Make Stuff Fridays. Saturday will be a series all on its own, and Sunday will be another different series on its own. So that being said, I think the Lapbook will continue on for Saturdays that we're working on now. And then starting tomorrow, we'll start a new series. And we'll go to let's see. I've got a request for, remember, if you guys remember those grungy panels that I couldn't get into a folio right and I want to recreate. Well, I created this, and I want to show it to you guys, give you a sneak peek. Hold on one second. Okay, I want to give you guys a sneak peek. You ready? Now, this is just a prototype, so it's not fully, finished and got all the bells and whistles, but here's what it looks like, and I'm, like, in love with it. So first, let me remind you and show you the panels that we're going to be, that I want to, you guys want to see me recreate. I kept them, and I didn't want to throw them away, so you guys remember these grungy, beautiful things here that I just, so frustrated that I couldn't get it into the folio right, and it just worked so hard on these. So these panels, these 4, let me actually zoom out a little bit. You guys said you wanted to see me recreate these and see the folio for it, right? So that's what we're going to do. And I've been trying to figure out the type of folio that will be able to hold all this, because these are quite thick, right? There's a lot to them. If you put them all together, stack them all up, look how thick it is. Okay, that is alone, before I put all the ephemera in it, 4 inches. Okay, just alone, like that. So I had to figure out something that's sturdy enough that would hold all of it. So I figured I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So you see me recreate these panels into a new project. On top of, do you guys remember that travel Lapbook that I made out of file folders? I'm going to show you how to make a version of that. I kind of changed it up a little bit to fit these panels. So what it's going to look like, I'm going to put these in there, and I'm going to show you real quick. And again, keep in mind, this is just a prototype, so it's not completely finished with all the bells and whistles and whatnot. But what it's going to look like, let me close it up and I'll show you. It's going to look like this. It's going to be like a horizontal, kind of like a Lapbook here with these cool guys here, right? That attached with these. I forgot what you call these. They look like little doorknobs to me. But yeah, so it kind of looks like a briefcase, I guess, kind of. But it'll have a rounded top here. I am going to put a pocket in the back as well. But this one is, it's pretty chunky, right? It's got a real pretty hard spine, reinforced. But again, this is a prototype. This is pretty much what the final look will be. I probably will do something like this to close it, maybe. Let's make it shorter or something like that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but this is just the idea. So if you guys want to see this one next, let me know, and we will start with this one. So we'll continue with the Lapbook that we're working on Saturdays, and starting tomorrow, we're going to start a new series. So it's either going to be this one or the grungy folio that I just showed you guys on I think it was the 29th. That is already sold, so I don't have it to show you guys anymore, but I do have the filming of it. So if you want to see the grungy folio, or you guys want to see this one, this new travel Lapbook, grunginess happening, I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet, but let me know in the comments which one you want to see, and whoever gets the most votes when I start filming tomorrow afternoon, we'll start that project. So it'll be a surprise for everybody. Okay, that being said, I just want to give you guys an update on what I'm thinking. So back to what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, so back to what we're going to be doing today. Back to the file folders. So we're going to be making 2 types, like I said. And we're going to do these by hand without any dies. So we're going to be making, let me show you these. I brought over different sizes because I wanted you to see all the different things you guys can make, right? So again, we're making one that's a 3-flap one and one that's like a normal tab file folder. Now, Look at this. All these different things you guys can make. You can, you know, the size that we're going to use today, you don't have to use that. Look at these different ones. You know, different sizes that you can make. I mean, look at this little teeny tiny one. How cute is this? Look, oh my God, how cute is that? And I use a simple rubber band to keep it closed, just like that, right? You can make little tiny ones. You can make skinny ones. There's another one with just a rubber band closure. You can make really big ones like this, you know, just, you know, you can make as many different sizes. Possibilities are endless, you know, skinny ones, small skinny ones, big fat ones, different kinds of paper, all kinds of different ways you can do this. Same technique in many different ways. But I want you guys to see that there's so many other options besides what I'm going to show you today. So it gives you a range of different types of ephemera that you can create with just this one technique, right? I mean, I love this little tiny one. It's so cute. I mean, come on. How cute is that? You could put some paper in there, make like a little bitty flippy book if you wanted to, or whatever. That's just so cute. It's so tiny. And you can even make them even smaller. I've got one that's like this big. It's just teeny tiny. It's just too darn cute. It is too cute. So that's that file folder. The other one, again, same thing. You can you don't have to stick with the sizes that I'm going to use today. You look at all these different sizes. These are the ones that I've cut by hand. I mean, how big this one is. All the way down to these little ones here. And I've made them even smaller than this. I've made them half this size. You know, I've got some that are like literally 2 by 1.5. But again, I want you guys to see that you're not limited to just one size. You can create all different sizes that you wanted. In different kinds of paper, backdrops. This is cardstock. This is craft stock. Whatever you want to do, okay? Which is, you know, kind of it's the freedom that comes with learning how to make things from scratch without using the die. With a die, you're limited to that size, right? By learning how to do it from scratch, you can adjust it, tweak it, make it your own, however you want, and make different styles of it and make different sizes, right? So I wanted to show you guys that for that reason. That was one of the reasons I want to show you guys how to make things by hand. Also, secondly, I don't want you guys to, by using pre-made stuff, I think some people feel like they need to buy more stuff. And that's not, you know, in the end what we're really about, right? We're crafters. We want to be able to craft things by hand. While it's, you know, convenient to sometimes you find it at the thrift store or at the Dollar Tree or, you know, at the pound store, wherever. Stuff that's already pre-made, like the little coin envelopes, you know, that I got from the Dollar Tree that were, you know, 50 for $1.25. Well, that's just the thrifty side of me and, well, the cheap side of me. You know, I'm half Asian, so my dad used to say that's just your Chinese part coming out. Whatever. But I'm not cheap. I'm thrifty. But yeah, so you buy those things, or you buy cards that are on sale, or you buy envelopes that are on sale. Yeah, that's great, but can you make it from scratch and make it your own and make it any size that you want? So I think this broadens your range and helps you. If you don't want to buy extra stuff, you can make it you can make it from scratch. Why buy it when you can make it, right? Okay, so that being said, let's start with the flappy folder, right? So this is the size that we're going to use, and I've already created and put some in there, but I'm going to show you step by step how to make this one for this particular size. Now this one measures 4 by, I believe it's 3 1/4. Yeah, this one is 4 by 3 1/4 this way, right? 3 1/4. Yeah, 3 1/4 this way, and the inside, as far as you know, when you unfold it, is 8 inches long, right? Each one of these flaps here, including the flap that you know that it attaches to, is 3. I'm sorry, is it 3 inches or is it 2 inches? So it's 2 inches by 3. Okay. All right. Each one of these are the same. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get started with this, and we'll put a magnetic closure on this one. You can use Velcro. You don't have to use a closure at all. I showed you how to use a rubber band, which is simple. Just get a rubber band, put it on the inside of this flap, like that. Like that. Easy peasy, yeah? Maybe a little bit bigger one, it's not so tight. But then when you fold this over, it'll hold your rubber band, and then you can just wrap it around like that, right? Let's just get one that's a little bit bigger because it's just pulling on it and it's bending it, it's warping it. Get an appropriate size rubber band, right? If you don't want to use Velcro or magnets, just put it on right here, right at the fold there. Yeah. When you close it, just run it over. Well, close, darn you. There we go. Like that. And then just run it over the flap, the front flap. Like that. And that'll keep it closed. Okay? Easy peasy. I can also show you one where it comes out through the center here. What you would do is actually attach it inside here with a little knot on the inside of the fold here. And it would come out back here, and then you would just do this little number, right, to keep it closed. I can show you how to do that one too if you want. Maybe I will just in this episode, just to show you another kind of closure for giggles. All right, I just grabbed a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and we're going to cut it down, right? Obviously, to make 2 of those file folders out of it. So, like I said, unfolded, it's 8 inches long. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll cut an 8-inch long piece, or 2 8-inch long pieces by what did I say? 4. So 8 by 4. You'll need 2 of those, and whatever paper you decide to use. Is that glue stuck on there? Yeah. Okay, let me check the grain here, make sure I'm doing it in the right direction. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new, when I say check the grain, I'm checking the grain to see which way it folds better. You want your folds to run parallel with the grain. Why? Okay, another lesson here. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you've heard this before. Those of you who are new, this is a new thing for you. The grain is the way in which the fibers run in the paper, okay? Now, to figure out which way the grain runs, simply fold your paper one direction, and then fold it in the other direction. The direction in which it's easier to fold, like this side, I can do this all day long, and it's fine. Versus if I switch it 90 degrees and I try to push it this way, I can feel the paper pushing up against me. It does not want to fold this way, okay? Meaning that the way it folds easily means the grain is running in this direction. That's what we want, okay? You run less risk of tearing, especially when you're folding with the grain, okay? If you try to fold it this way, you're basically going to break the fibers that are running in this direction, right? Or running in this direction, right? You're going to be breaking the fibers, okay? So, I always try to look for the grain and make my folds parallel to that grain. So, since we're going to be folding it like this, right? I want my grain to run this way, which is what we're doing, okay? All right, so we're going to cut 8 inches for the length. Okay. And then 2 4-inch wide pieces. There's 4 right there. Another 4. Okay. So there's our basis for our file folders. Now for those flaps, you're going to want to cut 2 more pieces. Okay, these 2 flaps here on the top and bottom. You're going to want to cut 2 more pieces that are 3 by 2. Okay, so this should be 3. Close to it. That's close to it. All right, let's do this 3 inches this way. Let's make sure we got the grain right again. Yep, we're good. So 3 inches by 2. Yeah? Am I thinking about this right? I'm just thinking, hold on a second. Am I thinking about this right? 3, this is 3 inches, and then by 2. Right, so it needs to be 2 inches this way. What am I thinking? Duh. No, this way. Tiana, get it together, girl. 2 inches. Where's my 2-inch mark? There it is. Yeah, 3 by 2. So you need 2 that are 3 by 2. Okay, that's 1 flap. So we'll need 2 for each folder, so we'll need 4 total. So 1. This should give us all 4 of this scrap right here. And this should be 2 inches right here. And it is. Okay. That gives us our flap for the inside. Now, the next bit, you're going to need your scoreboard. For that, your scoreboard and your tool. And we are going to take the large pieces and we are going to score the fold marks here and here, these pieces here. As well as, if you guys can see this in the camera, do you see these little score marks here that mimic the file, like a file folder, right? We're going to put those in as well, okay? Just for some, interest, a little bit of realism, mimicking, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Put your long side up, and we're going to go first at 3 1/4 inch. Okay, that'll be your first score mark. And then another 3/4 of an inch, which takes us to 6 1/2. Okay? Alright, those are your two main folds right there. Now, to mimic those score marks that you would normally see on a file folder, from this first score mark, you're going to go to the left at least 3 marks. So, or 3 every 1/8 of an inch, you're going to do another score mark. You can do at least 3. I like to do 4 just because I like the look. Okay? From this second score mark that we made at 6 1/2, go to the right. However many ticks you want to. You know, 1/8 of an inch for each tick mark here. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 4. Okay? So it should look something like, let me see if you guys can see this in the camera, like this. You can see that? Is it showing up in the camera? Yeah, over there and over here. Okay? Now, let's do that to the other piece. Same exact thing. From the left, we're going to go 3 1/4. And then another 3 1/4 to 6 1/2. Alright, from the first score mark, we're going to go to the left. 4 tick marks. 2, 3, 4. And from this score mark to the right, 4 tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that just serves no function, it's just for looks. Alright, and then on the 4 small tabs that are going to go inside as little flaps, we're going to recreate those score marks as well, but also create the flap where it attaches. So, position it this way with the long side on the left hand side here. Score it 1/2 inch, that's going to be your flap where you attach. And then 4 tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? And we'll do that on all 4 pieces. 1/2 inch, and then 4 tick marks. 2, 3, 4. 1/2 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1/2 inch. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. You put your scoreboard away now. You don't need it anymore. You may want your corner rounder if you want to round your corners, which I do. So, I'm going to go ahead and round these using the 4mm measurement here. There we go, and there we go. Same thing over here. Now what I'm going to show you today is just how to make the base. You can decorate however you want. We're going to be decorating them later. I mean, you could stamp them, you could put labels, you could put clusters on them. I'm probably just going to do some stamping and some cluster work. Put tabs on them, do all kinds of things with them. Okay, now for the folding part, yes? Okay, so from that first score mark that you did, right, at 3 1/4, yes? I'm sorry, right here, 3 1/4. Let me use my pen to show you see what I'm talking about. At this line here, okay, we're going to make our fold there, and I'll make our fold at this score mark over here. Okay, you see that? You guys see that in the camera? Here, okay? From this one on the inside and this one over here. So, let's make our fold. This side, and on this side. And that is the main structure of this file folder, yes? Okay? All we need to do is take 2 tabs, and on these, you're going to fold at the furthest score mark to the left. Okay, holding it like this. Yes, this one right here. Can you guys see that in the camera? Right there. That's what we're going to fold. That's what we're going to attach. Alright. Now all you have to do is grab your glue. I'm going to use art glitter glue, so we're going paper to paper here. And glue your flaps in. And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, put that glue on your flap. Now position it in here, up to the edge. Here. Let's far as you can get without going over, and down as far as you can get into the fold of your flap here, right here, down here, and just line it all up. Make it all nice and even. And make sure it's not showing on the other side. And there you go. Just push that down, and there's one flap. Right there. And we'll do this rinse and repeat on the other side, okay? So grab your flap, grab your glue, put on your glue, and attach this one the exact same way up to the edge of the file folder and into the, I guess you call it the ditch of this fold here, or the crease, whatever, right? All the way down in there without impeding it, and up to the edge of your file folder without going past the edge. Yeah? That's a little too far in there, so we bring it out some. There we go. On this side, no, I think we're good. Alright, let's get this nice press down here. We're going to use our tool as well. Make sure that's attached nicely. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, it's done. There you go. All done. Easy peasy. Okay? Now, that's that one. Let's go ahead and just do it again over here so you guys can see it one more time. And we're going to fold here. Fold here on this first square mark here. Grab our flaps. We're going to fold on this first square mark here. Over here, first square mark here. Grab our glue and attach. These you can mass make these and make a whole bunch of them. Leave them blank and then just decorate them as you need them, right? Okay. You know what I did? I folded it at the wrong fold, you guys. It's supposed to have been this one right here. Let me redo this one real quick. I was rushing it. Whoopsie. It's okay. No big whoop. Okay. Now, let's attach this like we're supposed to. Right in here. Just like before, up to the edge there without going past it. Into the fold without impeding it. Okay. Alright. I think we're good there. And rinse and repeat on the other flap as well. There we go, up to the edge. Now, easy way to do this fold part, to see how far you should go, just fold it in and then push your flap down into the fold itself. And when it stops, that's as far as you need to go. You don't have to go any further. Okay, am I up to the edge here? I think so. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I think we're in a good spot there. Let's go ahead and give this a nice burnish here and a nice crease there. Make it nice and sharp. Over here as well. And la-di-da. We have 2 file folders. Okay? Ready to decorate. Alright? How long did that take us? What? 15 minutes? Not even? If you take the intro out of this one. Now, for closures, you can do magnets. You put one here and here. Okay? You could do Velcro. You could do a wrap with some twine. You can do a simple rubber band if you wanted to. It's fine. Or the other way that I showed you, inside the flap. When you close it, just pull it over like that. It's another way to close it. Another way of closing it I saw not too long ago. And I'm going to show it to you here. You will need a pokey tool for this. Let me see if I can find my awl. And what you have to do is you find a rubber band that will go, you know, it's big enough to go around it this way. And in the seam here, you're going to poke a hole in the middle. Okay? You want it big enough because you'll have to pass this rubber band through it. Now, take your rubber band and tie it in a knot on one end, as far to the end of that rubber band as you can. Yeah? So when you get your knot together, try to push it as far to this end as you can. Yeah? Without losing the knot. Okay? You're going to take this large loop and you want to pass it through that hole you just made. Now what I do is I take an awl, I place the rubber band over the hole and just push it through with my awl, or a pen or a pencil or something, just enough to where you can grab it on the other side. Okay. Did I get it? Nope. Let's try again. And you don't want to make your hole too big because you don't want your knot to go busting through it either. That's the trick. Let's try this with something that's a little bit blunt on pencil. Here. There we go. That's a little better. See if I can get it now. And you just want to pull it through that hole. It may take a couple of times to get it through there. Just be careful with it. You don't want to tear the hole either. But you just pull the rubber band like that through. Okay? Pull it through the other side. Let's do this so you guys can see it here. Can you guys see that? Pull it through to where the knot will stop it. Close it up like so. And there's your closure. All you have to do now is that. And it closes. Yeah? So that's how many different closures? 5 different kinds, 5 different ways to close it. And then just undo it and you won't lose it. Just right there. Yeah? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, I'm not going to do that for this one because we're attaching it like this, and if I did that, I wouldn't be able to take this off. We could do it the other way with a rubber band if we glued it down. If we're saying, well, we are gluing it down. Since we're gluing it down, we could do this closure with a rubber band if we wanted to. Right? Let's close that down. Well, why is it not closing? Oh, there we go. Close that down like that, and we could do this type of closure if we wanted to. Because this one we'd be able to open and close even if it's glued down. Or the magnets, or the Velcro. You can even do a wrap with jute twine or something like that if you wanted to as well. Quite a few different options as far as closures. I like this one a lot. So, you know, you do you. Pick which one you like. Let me know what you guys think about these. Now, those guys went in here, because I've already made some, went in here, and I put magnets in mine, okay? And I already started stamping just to see what I would want to do with some labels. I stopped because I want to do that rest of that with you guys, okay? Now, next thing we're going to make is the file folders that are going to go over here. And we're going to make 3 small ones that go here, and we are going to use, did I bring over the paper for these? Oh, I'm going to use craft paper because I was going to use the cream color and decoupage it, but the decoupage is white on top of cream, and it's just, I'm trying to keep everything in neutral colors. I think it'd be too stark against this, I think. So I think I want to do this on top of cardstock, I think. Or would that be too muted? I'm thinking. You know what? Let's stick with the cream because we can always ink it. Because this, once it gets on here, goes translucent, and this is going to get really dark against there. I kind of want a little bit of contrast. So let's stick with the off-white paper, the cream color paper. Let me go grab a couple of pieces of that, and we're going to make it from that. Okay, guys. I forgot I had these. I got these parchment-looking cardstock papers from thrift store. So I thought we'd use them. I've got them in gray, this kind of like a green, and this like a manila light beige color. So I'm going to use these for these, okay? You can use any kind of cardstock that you want. Up to you. You don't want to use regular copy paper. That'd be a little flimsy. You want to use at least 65 or higher pounds. All right, let's see what width we're working with here. So our file folders need to be no more than 5 inches wide. And if we're going to fit 3 up here, we've only got 8 inches to work with. Okay. I like the height of these because they all fit. So I'm going to make them as high as these 3, I believe. So I have one tab sticking out. Yeah, I think this will work. Actually, We're going to make them shorter. These are stacking up a little bit more than I want them to. Okay, so I said 8. So let's make them, divide that by 3, is 2.5 and some change. 2.5, 2.5, so that's 6, 7.5. Let's make them 2 3/4 each. So 2 3/4 each. I'm doing the math in my head. 2 3/4 times 2 is 5.5 plus 2 3/4 is 7. 8 1/4 is too much. All right, so 2.5. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. We'll make them 2.5. So 2.5 times 3 is 6, 7.5. That leaves a little bit of space in between. Okay, sorry. Let's do the math in my head. Okay, so they're going to be 5 wide, 2.5 tall. And when I say 2.5 tall, that includes this tab. Okay, so 2.5 tall this way, 5 that way. We're going to be a little bit shorter than this, but wider. Okay. All right, so 2.5 tall, and let's do. I don't want them to go end to end for 5. What if I did 4 3/4? I think I like that better. 4 3/4. Yeah, 4 3/4 wide by 2.5 tall is the end result. Okay. All right. So how do we do that? Well, on a regular file folder. So if we're saying that this way is going to be 5. I'm sorry, 4 3. 4 3/4 this way. Yes? And then this way it's going to end up being 2.5. That's including this tab, right? So we kind of have to double that when we're cutting it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece that's 4 3/4 wide and 5 inches long. Okay? See when I fold that up? It's 5, yeah. But we're going to be cutting off this front part anyway. Okay? So we're going to do, let me think again. Hold on a second. I'm getting myself mixed up. 2.5, cutting off a 1/2 inch. Yeah. Okay. Think, Tiana, think. Yeah, so I'm doing it this way. Okay. And I'm going to use my envelope punch. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to cut these 5 inches wide. And then we may have to just kind of wing it to see. Which way is the ring here? It's this way. Okay, so I want them to be this way. So 5 inches wide, right? It's 5. I said 4 3/4, didn't I? Yes, I did. 4 3/4. That's 1. 4 3/4 again. And then 4 3/4. Okay. Now, how much is this? This is now measuring tall, 8.5. So, let's fold it and see what we get. Here. Alright, so right now these are 4 3/4 wide, and they're 8.5 tall, I believe, right now. Right? So if we did this, and we need it to be no taller than 2.5. So 2.5 would put it right. So if we start from this mark here, 2.5 is here. So that's 2.5 from here. Right? So we're going to have to cut off quite a bit. Okay. If I only want it to be 2.5. Sorry guys, I didn't like think this, test this out before I started. Because we're trying to do it at a certain measurement, not just, whatever we want. Okay, so let's say there. Right, okay. So that's 2.5. Okay, so we're gonna have to bring this down some. Let's go here, because I want my tab to be there. Bring this down some more. I'm gonna give you the measurements as soon as I figure this out. You guys, we're doing this together. Alright, let's do this at right about there. Ought to do it. That's 2.5 here. Alright, let's see what this brings us to. That brings us to 4. Okay, we're going to just say 5. Alright, we're going to do these at 5. So 4 by 5s. Okay? And then we'll check it out. See how it does. 4 by 5. I want to do it. I hope. Alright. Okie dokie. So, what we're going to want to do, so these are now 4 by 5. We're going to want to fold it up this way, but leaving enough room up here for a tab, okay? About I would say about a 1/2 inch to quarter to, you know, in between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch. I'm going to leave about, how much is that? That looks like about 3/8 of an inch, actually. So, let's just do that. Okay. Alright, actually first, let's cut the notch in there that you want the tab up there. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. Now, I'm going to show you one way that I use. I have an envelope punch here that I use to make my tabs. So if you have one of these, I'm going to show you how I've shown you this before. You put in one end. You see this metal piece here? You see that here? Halfway in between that piece right there. So if I'm going to do it, I would put it right about there and punch down. Okay? And then however long you want your tab, move it to the right. And then punch again. And that gives you a really pretty tab. And then you just cut this part off. Okay? So that's one way of doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And that's our tab there. And then you just bring this piece up, like so. Like that. In the back a little bit taller. Okay? Easy peasy. And then we round the corners. And this one's done. Yeah? Okay. So we're going to do these again. So, again, now, if you don't have a envelope punch, all you have to do is, you're going to want to cut, you know, down about a 1/4 inch. If you want to take a ruler and make a mark there, you can do that too. Let's do that for those of you who have trouble with cutting straight line like I do. Just measure across like so, about, you know, about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch, however tall you want your tab, like that. And then however tall you want, or long, you know, long you want your tab, this way, yeah? So all you have to do is cut on that line. You can use your craft knife, your scissors, or whatever. Up to that point, this little mark here, yeah? And from there, you just kind of angle it up, yeah? Boom, tab. And then just take your corner rounder and round that corner, and there's your tab. Okay? And this is a little ugly here. Let's kind of smooth this out a little bit. But that's all you have to do. Easy peasy, right? That is it. Easy, easy. Now, let's see. Just for the sake of argument that we're going to use it. And then you just fold it up like you did, you know, erase the pencil mark, right? And you're in business, okay? Now, since I want these to match, I'm going to cut another piece of that in a second. But let's go with this one, using my envelope punch here. And this one, I'm going to put the tab in the middle. So I'm going to start it right about here, I think. Then go over a little bit. It's not perfectly in the middle, but it's fine. I can live with that. There we go. Then I'll cut both of these sides off. And then around these corners. Fold this up. Now I know these look a little bit long for or wide for a file folder, but we have to make sure, you have to understand they have to fit on that page, right? The way I want them to. So that's why they look that way. Okay, so that other paper was it the gray or the yellow? It's the gray. Was it? No, it's the yellow one. Or the greenish looking one, right? Yeah, this one. Okay, so I'm gonna cut another piece at 4x5 so these all match. This is 5 this way, and then 4 this way. Yeah. 4 3/4. Oh, almost messed that up. 4 3/4 this way. Okay. So this is the 4 3/4. This is the 5. Right. So it goes this way. All right. So I'm gonna put the tab on this end this time. So I'm gonna go halfway here to make my end tab. Come over about that far. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Puts that one. Cut this off. And that is my third one. Yeah? You get rid of some of this junk here. Alright, I'm going to fold this one up like so. Just going to go this way with it. Okay. And let's go ahead and round my corners real quick. And there are my 3 file folders. Yeah? Actually, I need to go the other way. Let's tab these on this side. So now I got to tab that side, and this side. Dun. Yeah? So if I measured right, these should fit. Alright, let's see here. 1. One there. 1 here. And then this one down here. Yeah? That tab's sticking out the top a little bit. This one will go here. That one will go there. And they fit perfect. Like I want them to. What do you guys think? Yeah? I think so. Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is we're just going to ink them. I think I am going to sew around them. I'm not sure just yet. I don't want to decorate them before we attach them. I think we will. So, okay. So these are our file folders for that. We got that process done. We did these guys here. You guys know how to make those. So all we have to do is decorate those. All right. So where are we on time? 46. All right. So let's do this. We're going to leave those unattached for now until we decorate them. So I'm just going to clip them to the page. And then once we decorate them, then we'll attach them to the page. Okay? Alright, so there's those. And next we have to make these accordion slides here. And I haven't chosen the paper yet for those. And then we have to make the 8 pocket piece or element, this guy here, that goes here out of envelopes. So let's do that next, okay? And then I'll probably pause to pick out the paper for those accordion slides and whatnot, and then we'll just put the whole thing together depending on depending on the time, okay? Or should we call this video now and do those other 2 later? No, you know what? We're going to do this one too, because those specimen slides may take us a while, because we also have to cut specimen slides themselves. I got to show you how to do those as well, and that can take some time. So we'll dedicate one video just to those pockets and the specimen slides, okay? Because we're not going to be using dies. Like I said, it can take a little while to do that. All right, so I'm going to pause for just 1 second, and I'll be right back, and we'll continue with this piece. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and work on our next element here, which is the 8 pocket element that I promised we were going to finish up this video with. And that is this piece right here. I've already actually gone in and put mine in. So yeah, this is what we're going to make, and then we'll call it a video today. Alright, so what are you going to need? You're going to need 2 envelopes for that particular piece and that particular size. These are, I believe, 9 by... I'm sorry. These are 9 3/4 by 4. Alright, you'll need 2 of those. You'll need some backing paper. We're going to need some page tabs. I've got 4 here. And then whatever you're going to want to use to decorate it, okay? Now, I used some tiny snippets on here and made little labels out of them, so we can do that. But I'll leave the decoration up to you guys, okay? Alright, so let's get started. First thing you're going to do is take one of your envelopes here, or both of your envelopes, and you're going to want to go ahead and seal the envelopes themselves. You don't want to put too much glue. You don't want to seal the pocket here, just enough to close this part down. Okay. Make sure I'm in frame here. Am I in frame? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, this one. Oh, yeah. Everything's falling. It's really pretty pretty day outside, so I didn't turn on my ring lamp. I hope there's enough light. Using the light from outside. It's really pretty. Okay. Well, everything just falling over there. Stay put. Okay, so now we got our envelope sealed. Some glue there. Alright, now, first one you're going to want to fold up, okay, because we're going to be making, actually, let me bring that piece out so you can see what we're doing here. We're going to be folding it up and making these 2 parts here. These 2 parts here. And the second piece will be folded and make these 2 pockets here, okay? So, what you're going to want to do is fold at the bottom, okay? I'm about, let's say, I'm going to say about 2.5 inches, give or take, okay? And then crease that down. Alright, that's the first part. The second one, again, we're going to fold this one up, leaving about 2.5 inches uncovered, okay? So we're going to leave about 2.5 inches uncovered up there. And that should give us our 4 pockets simply, easily, quickly. Alright, you just take this piece, set it inside here. Oop, looks like we need to have a little bit more room up there. A little bit too high. So, a little bit too shallow there. So let's go ahead and move this up a little bit more, I think, right? Yeah. Let's move this up, actually, to where it's 2 inches. Okay? Let's try that. It's a trial process. That's better. Okay. So, like I said, 2.5 over here, and up here you want to fold it to 4 inches. This part right here, from here to here is 4 inches. Okay? You set them inside each other, just like so. Easy peasy. And that's basically your structure right there. And you'll have pocket, 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 pocket. Alright? Now the next thing I want you to do is take your paper trimmer, and we're going to cut off the ends of our envelope. And just cut off just a sliver, just enough to open the end. Okay? Like so. All right. Now, let me go back and check something here real quick. I think I might have notched these, but I don't remember offhand. Did I? I did. Okay. So we'll do that next. Okay. So, let me grab... Do I have my notcher over here? Okay, we can use that too. Alright, now that we've cut those open, we're going to cut a notch in these, okay? Now, You can wait until you put your backing paper on, which is what I would suggest. That way you don't have to do it multiple times. So let's do that part next. All right, you're going to take your paper that you want to use to back these, each one of these, right? And we're going to measure and cut. So get your paper trimmer and your pencil. Do I have a pencil around? I do. Here. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to turn my ring light on because the clouds are coming in and it's starting to get a little dark. So hold on 1 second. Sorry if I'm a little bit off at the moment. I took a little bit of a break and, well, something happened and I'm a little out of sorts right now. So you'll have to excuse me if I seem a little bit off today. All right. So we're going to back this part of this piece here. So I'm just going to take my paper, measure up where I want it, and then I'm going to measure where I want to cut. Now I like to bring mine close to the edges. So I'm going to cut there, and I'm going to cut right here. Yeah? Okay, here we go. And this piece will go right here. Yeah? See? Easy peasy, right? Alright, that's the first piece. Then we're going to measure for the next piece. Now, I would almost say that you could probably do the same size for each one because you don't need one that goes all the way down, just enough to where it's seen, right? So, why don't we just try that? And we'll cut 3 more of this size. So this size is now, for this exercise, or for this element, this one is 3 7/8. Okay, 3 7/8 by 2. All right, so let's do that here. We'll cut 3 more that way. 2 inches long here. And 3 7/8 wide. Make sure I got this right here. 3 7/8 to be right. Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing the tick marks. 1, 2, 1, 2, right there. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And again, 2 inches. And this ought to be just enough, I think. That's perfect. Yeah. That's the scrap we had left over from the last element where we were making the pockets. Perfect. So we just have 3 little tiny pieces of scrap left over. Alright, now take your 4 pieces and I'm going to go ahead and ink them, okay? I don't know what happened to my ink though. 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I was tidying it up and tidied up all my inks too. Alright. So I hope everybody's weekend's going okay. It's Sunday here. Back to work tomorrow. I don't really know what much to talk about today. I had a pretty traumatic morning. And I thought the best thing to do was to get back into it and spend some time with you guys and work on this Lapbook. Okay. See if we can get this lady done already, right? So what are we working on next? After we finish this, we have the slides to do, and we're going to do those in a separate video. I don't think I have it in me today to work on that. That's going to be a little bit entailed, because we're going to be doing a lot of it by hand. Alright, now that those are inked, I want you to go ahead and put them on the envelopes before we glue these together. It's a lot easier that way, okay? So I'm just going to pick what order I want these in. That looks good to me. There we go. Okay. This one down here at the bottom. And I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac because it's closest to me. I think my art glitter is on the other side of the desk. Now, here's one thing you could do at this point. Now, if you saw on mine, it looked like brads in the corners. They're not. They're enamel dots. They're these things here. I use these instead of using brads sometimes, so I don't have to have those little feet back there. But if you want, I also have tiny little brads. You can put brads in these corners before you glue them on. I'll show you that in just a second, what I mean. But I'm going to be using enamel dots for this, because I don't want that extra bulk of the brad legs behind here. Now, like I said, while that's drying, you could, like, see these here? These are actually enamel dots, okay? The enamel dots are made by Ranger, called enamel accents, and they go on, you know, obviously as a liquid, and they harden to, like, you know, enamel hardness. If you don't have those and you have some brads, I would suggest smaller ones. The ones that I have are, let's see here, pretty tiny, and I got these off of Amazon forever ago. I mean, look how teeny tiny these things are. I mean, they are little bitty. But whatever size brads you have, I think Tim Holtz has a size. Here's one. These are Tim Holtz. These are also fairly tiny, that these would work as well. Okay, these are they're just called the small fasteners from Tim Holtz. You could use those as well, and you just attach them here underneath your paper, underneath your backing paper. Okay, but we are going to use enamel dots because that's what I have and that's what I want to use for those. But we'll do those at the end because they do have to cure overnight. All right. So if you're using enamel dots, just we'll do those last. All right. So let's do the next piece here, which will be this pocket up here. Ooh, bubbles. Fabri-Tac is bubbling out on me here. Let's get that off of there. Excuse me, got glue on my fingers. I do feel a little out of sorts. I'm sure you guys are noticing. I don't know if I want to talk about it. Maybe I should. Maybe that would help. Who knows? Okay. There's that piece there. Take my bone folder here and just smear out and get the glue even. Okay. Alright, then we'll take the next one, which would go here, this top part. Right there. See, this is easy, you guys. Really easy. A lot of steps, but easy, an easy piece, and it's really fun and really looks really nice in a journal. Also, stash pressure because get rid of those some of those envelopes and scrap papers that you have laying around. This is a good piece of ephemera for that. All right, and the last one here up top. Come on. Here we go. Woo, that's a lot. Spread that out a little bit. Squeezed the bottle too hard that time. Alrighty. Here we go. Make sure that's straight. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to ink the envelopes themselves. Okay? So grab your dauber and your ink. If you're going to ink, if you don't ink, then, you know, skip this part, obviously. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze in your ears. Couldn't hold that one in. Okay. And just go ahead and ink all the way around the edges and on your folds as well. Yeah. Make sure you get your edges really well. Right, in our folds. Ink as much or little as you like, of course, up to you. And now this is what we have. Yeah? I think it looks pretty cool. What do you guys think so far? Huh? Nice, right? Okay, next step. Let's go ahead and cut our notches in if you're going to do that. I'm using my 2-inch punch here. And I'm going to just do a shallow one. Right about there, I think it's good. Okay. And again, I'm doing mine pretty shallow. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and ink those notches real quick. Okay. Now, you can go ahead and glue these down. Actually, you know, before we glue these down, let's do the tabs, because they're a little bit easier to attach. These are unglued. So, your tabs are going to go inside the pocket on the back wall of it, back here. Okay? Just like that. It'll go on this back part of your pocket. Okay? Now, you can do this however you like, decorate them however you'd like. So for this exercise, we're going to ink them, and then we're going to turn them into, put little, I don't want to say clusters, but we're just going to put some labels on them, okay? So let's grab our ink again, and ink to your little heart's desire, whatever you want them to look like. If you know me, I like to ink pretty heavily, so, on things. And you don't have to worry about the back, because nobody will see it, so just worry about the front. You can use whatever kind of tab you want. You can use whale tail tabs. I just chose these rectangular ones. That's what I like to use on this, or what I chose for this. You can use circle ones, hand cut ones, whatever. I have a die cut, or not die cut, I have a paper punch that does these. If you want to know where I got mine on Amazon. And this one I bought punches them like this. Okay, not just a single side. If you're having trouble finding it, let me know and I will find the link for you. Okay, now those are inked. I'm just going to take my blending brush just to kind of soften it a little bit, like I do. And go grab your snippets, any small, tiny little labels that you have. Now, I have the Tim Holtz snippets, and some of his little teeny tiny ones are the ones that I have right here we're going to use. So we're just going to pick out a few of those. Grab some tweezers so I can hold these up. And just find a couple that fit. Now, what I'm going to use is, who knows what I'll use. So I'll use this one right here. I think will fit. This is filed. And what I'm going to do, you can leave it as just one label if you want. I'm going to put two. One, and I'll put one kind of askew from it. So I'm going to grab 4 kind of horizontal pieces. And then 4 very small accompanying snippets. Something tiny that will fit. That either stamped or one of Tim Holtz's ones. We'll see what I can find in here. Okay. There's one. Let's see, I know I've got some teeny ones in here somewhere. Here's one. Teeny one. If you don't have any of the snippets, print out your labels and print them 4 to a page. I've done that too, and I've gotten snippets this size. This is from Memories, I'm sorry, Labels, they have Days Gone By. Those Tracy Fox, I believe. Anyway, but I printed these at 4 to a page and got these little teeny tiny ones that I had cut out. So there are ways to get what you need. Let's see, what have I got here? So I need another small teeny one. I might have used them all. Oh, there's one. Look a little. It's so tiny. Okay, we've got our labels that I want to use for this. And I'm also going to ink these little guys. But again, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I am not, as kind of usual. No, not as usual, but this is a particularly bad weekend for me. This is the day, or yesterday was, a year from the day my husband told me he wanted a divorce. And today is the year of that. So I'm having a little bit of a struggle today, as you can probably tell in the tone of my voice. But I am muscling through best I can. But thank goodness I have you guys to spend time with and share things with. So you guys are saving me today. Okay, and pick up this last one here. I think I'm gonna cut off a little bit extra here, make it even smaller. There we go. Teeny tiny little snippets. We love them. Alrighty, now that we've done those, we're just going to attach these here real quick. And I'm going to grab my art glue because it comes out teeny tiny, little bead, a lot easier for us to work with. So, that's extra. I can pick these up. Glue these guys onto our tabs. However you want to position them, it is your tab. You, like Mr. Tim Holtz would say, you do you. Yeah? I'm just going to pick one of these at random. What I'm going to do is just kind of stagger them like this. Yeah? It's so small I can't tell if I'm putting it upside down or not, so I think I am, but put it upside down. The writing's so tiny I can't even see it. Just like that. Kind of like a cluster, but not. Okay? Like that. See? Cute, yeah? Is it cute? Can you see it? Here we go. That's what we're doing. Go. I think I put that one upside down too. Okay. Right over here. I'll grab another one. Let's grab this red one here, I think will be nice. And again, just off the corner here a little bit. Now again, you decorate your tabs however you like. This is just the way I'm doing them, okay? And you could, after you put these on, you could even put an eyelet on these tabs if you'd like as well, which would be cute too. Let's use this one. Okay, and one more. Okay, and this last one right here. Let me cut that little corner off. It's bugging me. I get it? Here we go. Just a little bit of glue ought to do ya. And I'll put that one right here. Okay. And there we go. There are our tabs. Now, take your tabs and you're going to put it into the back wall of your pocket. So when you open your pocket, right, this back piece right here, you're going to attach it back there. Okay, we're going to go back to art glitter glue. Okay, so open up your pocket and slide it to the back. Yeah, okay. And the reason we do this is not just for looks, but it also indicates there's another pocket back there, right? Let's line this up here where it's even. Come on. Here we go. Okay, there's one. Okay, let's open up this pocket here. Same thing. Rinse and repeat. Like I say, rinse and repeat. Make sure it's centered up with your notch there as best you can. Yeah. Just going to give it a little bit of smush as well. Okay. Let's do our last two. Oops. Dropping things. Again, just open up your pocket and put this on the back wall here, covering up that notch. Come on. Here we go. Alrighty. Almost done. There we go. Okay. And finally, our last tab. Okay. Again, just open up your pocket and attach your tab. Uh-oh. Rip it off. Uh-oh. Don't glue on me. There we go. Oof, almost glued it shut. There we go. Okay. Now we got it on there. Make sure it's up and even here. Okay. Here we go. Nice. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we have pretty much our pieces ready to go. All right. So let's go ahead and glue them together and we'll be done with this element. So first part you're going to do is put your pieces together. Make sure you got this down into that fold real nice. Let's give it another creasing. Let's give all the folds a nice good creasing again. Just make sure they're nice and flat for the folding. Okay. What I like about this element is that while it's 2 envelopes, it doesn't add that much bulk. Look at that. It's very thin. Okay? It's not bulky at all. Alright. So, I'm going to put the glue on this back part here. Now, I'm going to leave the bottom open because that allows for a longer pocket. Yeah. I'll slide this in all the way into the fold. Lay that down. Make sure it's even on the sides as well. Make sure it's down in there really well. There we go. In. Yeah, I think we are. Okay. Nice. Okay, and then just give that a nice burnish there. Okay? Just making sure I'm even on here. Alright. You're going to open up this piece and put your glue on this part. Okay? Again, you only need to put it on the sides, because you have your fold here to stop the pocket. Fold that up. Press it down. And then finally this piece up the sides here. Again, just fold it up. Press it down. And that is basically it, you guys. You're done with the actual structure of the piece. So now, just the final decoration here that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my enamel dots here. And then I'm going to let this sit overnight to cure. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit to get the air bubbles out. And I'm just going to put little dots in these corners here. And that will replicate little brads. It's kind of like puff paint, if you're old enough to remember what that is. Comes out like that, basically. I'm rushing this a little bit, but you get the idea. Okay? And then, now I'm done. What do you guys think? Now you could also put eyelets there if you'd like. You could put eyelets in your tabs, whatever you'd like. But this is the finished product, and I think it looks pretty good. And what you end up having, which is really cool with this whole piece, I'll put this away before I put my finger in it, is you have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, 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 and we glue it down, we'll have a pocket back there. Yeah? So we are done with this element. I've already attached my piece. Go ahead and put yours in on your panel 3 if you are following or crafting along. And we're going to call this a video. Okay? I love this piece. This is such a great element to use. Definitely put this, and you can mass make some of these. Keep them like in a neutral color. You can always add tabs later. Or just go ahead and fold them up and, you know, have the pieces ready to attach to each other when you're ready to use them. However you want to do it. But either way, it's a great piece. Again, I was inspired by Seven Plaza to do these. She used 6x6 papers to make hers, and I didn't making mine out of these envelopes. So, either way, I'll link her video below, and I'm going to set this aside to cure so I don't smear my little enamel dots. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. So if you're new, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified to any new content that we have. Check out our description where I list commonly used tools, any links that I've mentioned, as well as some links to our Etsy store, as well as our Kofi site where you can download some free ephemera. Speaking of free ephemera, I will be uploading some this weekend for you guys, and we are getting close to our 500 milestone of subscribers. Can you believe it? I can't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm so excited to have you guys, and reading y'all's comments every day is like one of the best parts of my day. So keep them coming. Keep telling me what you want to see. Don't worry, I've got a list going. And Judy, I'm sorry, not Judy. Joanne, I did see your message this morning, and yes, we are going to do a stamp clusters. I'm adding stamp clusters to the list of tutorials, okay? What else? I think that's it for today. We're going to call it a video. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys are having fun with this Create a Lapbook with me series 2.0, and I will see you guys next when we do those accordion pockets, and we'll be finished with all the structure, and then we're going to start decorating, okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.